What's going on, man? Welcome to the Internal Conflict, man. I'm going to give y'all a little podcast overview, kind of go through some topics we're going to cover, give you a flavor of the podcast, give you a good idea of kind of what you could be signing up for, what you're going to be expecting to hear, who it's for, and kind of what my mindset is behind it and starting it. So the Internal Conflict, man, it really is a podcast created for people like me, man, men and women that really struggle with going through normal life. Trying to pursue God, man. Like as a young dude, as a young woman, it's hard, man, when you're trying to get your life together and you know that the way that you live in really is not sitting right in your spirit. Like, you know, okay, I'm going to the club, I'm messing with so and so, we sleeping around, I'm drinking. It's like, man, that's cool. But if you ever had that morning, you know, it may only happen one time in your life where it's just like, man, like I'm really tired of living the way that I'm living, you know. And I think a lot of us have had that moment, man, and so it's really difficult to try to manage that space where you know there's a place that you want to go. You know there's a place where you want to get closer to God, but you still are just living life the way that you lived in. There's nothing wrong with that, but we have to bridge that gap between living life the way that we know that we should be living it and putting God in our lives, and also like that balance of we're not supposed to be nuns. Not everybody's called to be a nun or a pastor, right? And so that's the internal conflict, man. It's a conflict we have every single day. It's a conflict we've been having our whole lives, you know. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that we have as good examples on how to do that, you know. So for me, I wish when I was in college, man, there was a dude I could look up to. I wish there was a dude in college that I could look at and be like, man, he's a cool dude, but he believe in God. I wish it was somebody that could tell me like, man, you ain't got to drink. You ain't got to smoke. You ain't got to, you know, be smashing all the girls. You ain't got to be doing all that. And you can believe in God and you're not a weirdo. Like as a woman, I feel like there's not a lot of women that tell other women like you could dress modestly. You can still be sexy. You can still be cool. You can still be a great person. You can still have a lot of fun without giving it up, without getting drunk, without acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not a lot of that. And so that's really what I want to bring, man. Bring somebody that is relatable. Somebody that can speak on these topics, right? Speak on that transition, trying to get your life right. Like, am I supposed to just stop drinking altogether? I've been drinking my whole life. Am I supposed to stop cold turkey? How do I do that? Even if I want to, how do I do that? How do I go to church if I've never been to a church? How do I find one? How do I read my Bible, right? All those things. And so that's really the basis of the podcast, man. Like the really glaring questions, man, that we have in life as a young dude, as a young woman is like, why should I follow God? What can God give me that I can't give myself, right? What benefits is there in God in living for him versus living life my own way, right? Why should I even focus on stop drinking? Why should I even focus on stop having relationships out of wedlock? Like, why is it even important to me to know about that? Why is it important to know what God can do in my life? Why should I care? Right? And there's a lot of people walking through life, including myself at one point. It's a lot of us walking through life trying to figure that out, trying to understand, like, man, how do I go about this thing? Even though I know that I really want to, where do I start? And so it's so important, man, that I feel like I brought this, and it's been on my heart for a long time, man. And it's only fitting that the name of the podcast is The Internal Conflict. Because even starting this podcast was an internal conflict for me, because I'm 27 and I got a lot of life, bro. I've done a lot of stuff I'm not proud of, made a lot of bad decisions, and so to put my face out here and talk about that journey and hopefully help some other people and be the person that I wish I had, bro, it was really an internal conflict for me, and I just feel like it's so powerful that it can help somebody else, because nobody in the church speaks about it, bro. Nobody in the church speak about, like, when you start walking this journey, what do you do on day 1? What do you do on day 2? It's not easy. You don't go to church and get saved and then all of a sudden your life is just like amazing. Nobody talks about that, bro. There's no way to walk people through that. And a lot of times people are hurt by the church, man. People hurt by the church, or you saw your mama or your grandma that believe in God and she died from cancer, and so now you just turned off. You know, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people like us that feel that kind of way. But I hope that the podcast really bridges the gap between people that feel like they don't know where they're going, or feel like there's just something calling them to somewhere different. or people that used to be in the church that left, or people that are already mature Christians and they just want to grow deeper, right? And so I pray that the podcast really brings that to it. And so with the podcast, man, I want to explain the benefits of pursuing God, obviously, explain Christianity in the Bible. What does it mean, right? Can you believe the Bible? There's all this crap out there, man. Is it reliable? Who wrote it? How do we interpret it? How does it apply to our daily life, right? Describe the experiences of the experiences and difficulties of trying to pursue God while living your life, right? There's a lot of things that come with that are very difficult, man, and nobody speaks on it. Like, am I supposed to go get all my tattoos removed? Am I supposed to stop drinking today? And so all those things, right? And so the podcast is really targeted toward the young men and women, like 18 to 35. You're still influenced by the club, you're still on TikTok, you're still on social media, you still like to drink, all that kind of stuff, but you feel like there's a place where you really want to start to grow your life. And so, by all means, if you outside of that category, but you feel like it may apply, that's cool, man. Let's get rolling, get plugged in and we can do it. But what I really feel like, what was put on my heart so much to do the podcast is like being somebody relatable. There's so many questions I had, there's so many struggles I had, and I go on YouTube, bro, and it's hard to relate to a lot of the dudes on YouTube, personally. And so these guys, you going through life as it is, bro. You get on YouTube, you try to punch it in, you click on a video, bro got a 5-minute intro, and he talking about stuff he talking about stuff that's not even answering what I went on there to look for. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, why is it so difficult to get accurate information in a timely manner? Why is it so difficult to find somebody I can relate to? Why is it so difficult to find somebody who ain't lying? Why is it so difficult to find somebody who is not, enticed by money, who just trying to make money? Me, bro, I don't even care about. I got my own business. God put this on my heart so heavily, man, and I feel like I could care less if I make money on this podcast. I just want to bring straight facts. I want to help somebody like me. I want to speak to somebody who's looking for this kind of information like I was, right? And so, at the end of the day, I'm not TD Jakes. I'm not Tony Evans. I'm not Joe Osteen, Charles Stanley, man. I'm not none of these pastors. I don't got no PhD, right? But I've served in church for a while. I've been walking through this walk for 5-6 years. I've started a theological course. I'm leaning into getting into seminary. And so really, I'm just a normal dude, 27. I'm from Cali. You know what I'm saying? I'm married a year and a half. Like, I'm just a normal dude. I don't got nothing crazy except experience and what God's put on my heart. And so I feel like that's what makes me so relatable. And I feel like there's a lot of people that could really benefit from this type of podcast, from this type of information, because there's a lot of people, including myself at one point, man, there's a lot of people going through life that's struggling. It's a lot of people going through life that's going through real life things. And you're not getting real life answers, and it's important that there's places where we could go, like a community where we can come and be like, damn, bro, now I understand why I was going through that. Damn, bro, now I know why I was feeling like that. Damn, bro, I'm not the only one who's going through that. Like, damn, now I know that there's other people going through the same thing with the same questions. Or now I know that, now I learned how to read my Bible. I learned how to apply that. Like, it should be a place, man. And I hope that I could build a community that does that. I hope that we can start to, allow people to grow into who God has called them to be without fear of being looked at weird in church. If you got tattoos or you got a past or you going through stuff right now, like, man, we shouldn't have this place where everybody is walking on eggshells, but deep down in your heart, you're trying to grow. You want to get help. You're tired of living the way that you live, man. So I hope that this really can bring a lot of benefit and healing to people. I hope we can build a dope community, man. Like I said, people that think like me. There's plenty of stuff out there that look cute, that got the clickbait and the whole setup that's all nice. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what you're looking for, man, go on. There's plenty of that out there, man. I'm just trying to bring this straight, cut and dry, straight to the point. Let's laugh a little bit. Let's keep it real, man. At the end of the day, let's keep it real above everything else. That's really what I want to bring, man. And so that's internal conflict, man. At an overview from a bird's eye view, man. That's kind of what we're gonna talk about. And every week is just gonna be certain topics, man. Just going through it, figuring out different ways that I can help and different ways that I can bring information and what God puts on my heart and maybe what people recommend, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, the internal conflict, it revolves around this verse. James 4, verse 1 through 3. The verse says, "What causes quarrels and fights among you? Is it not from your passions that are at war within you?" And so at the end of the day, man, that's the internal conflict. You know, what we're going through on a daily basis internally before we even wake up is what dictates our day. It's what dictates how our actions and our attitudes and how we go through life, man. And life is hard enough as it is. So much stuff we can't control, bro. So much stuff you can't control in your life. And it's like, man, why not take control of the things that you can? Understand that there is a God that loves you, that wants you to be the best version of yourself, that don't want you to lose sleep at night, that don't want you to worry, that don't want you to feel anxious and depressed all the time. Like, there's a God in heaven that wants you to feel like you're special, that you're unique, but like there's nobody like you on the planet. You know what I'm saying? That there's nobody else that can live life the way that you can live life. And there's nobody that can bring what you can bring. And so I hope that this podcast motivates you. Man, I hope that y'all stay tuned. Y'all subscribe so we can get it rolling.